So I've seen a few persons talk about hiding your pregnancy, especially in the early months. And it's something that a lot of people do or probably want to do. But in my case, I intentionally did not. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you why I decided not to hide my pregnancy as a doctor working in the NHS. So sometimes you just don't want people to quickly tag pregnancy as the reason for, some of the changes in your body. And for some person, it's just for the reason of privacy. They just want to keep their personal matters to themselves. They don't want people to know so much about what is going on in their lives personally. And so even things like pregnancy, they want to keep it away from the public view. And truly, I respect that. And I think I thought about it, but then I realized very early that I couldn't do that, no matter how much I wanted to do it. And that is because, number one, I knew that pregnancy was going to, especially, so in my first trimester, when I started having some symptoms, I knew, oh my God, first trimester is going to be tough. And how do I make them understand that this is the reason why I am not able to function effectively? And so very early in my pregnancy, I informed my supervisors, I informed everyone that this is the situation. And thankfully, I'm so glad that I did, because I got so sick in my first trimester that there was no way I would have been able to explain all of those things. I struggled so much. Even the days I had to go to work, I struggled so much that what made it a bit easier was that my colleagues understood that I was pregnant, and so they were able to take off a whole lot of tasks off me, and it was easier for me to be able to delegate jobs to like some of the doctors, because they knew I was pregnant, and so they didn't question, oh, why is Blessing not doing this, why is Blessing not doing that? And not just that alone, as an IMG doctor, this may not be the case for everybody, but for me, I think I found myself in a situation where I have come to realize over time that whether or not you like it, you've got to prove yourself over and over again. You've got to convince people that you really deserve to earn the title doctor. So a lot of people are watching everything you're doing, like you're being closely monitored. And so I knew that pregnancy symptoms was going to affect me. I'm going to become a bit slower. I'm not going to be able to, I may be a bit tired. I may not be able to do things as quickly as I used to do them. I may have to stay off work some days. Some mornings I came in late because after getting ready for work, I became very nauseous and I started vomiting. And of course, after the bout of vomiting, I probably want to take, just a little bit of time to catch my breath, get myself together before heading off to work. And so some people will not understand or will not be able to give an excuse for why you're coming late. So I knew that the easiest way to get off, such situations was to inform everyone involved early enough, so that when these things start happening, they will understand that it's not because she's lazy, it's not because something significant is happening in her life, it's not because maybe she's not taking the job seriously, but it's just because it's because she's pregnant. So it just makes it very easy that way for everyone, so as to avoid confusion. And sometimes too, on a morning when you have vomited a lot and then you're going to work, your mood is not going to be like that of every other person. Some days, because of the pregnancy symptoms, your face is not so bright, you don't look very bright, you're not able to engage in a lot of conversations because you're just tired, because you're just nauseous, you're just trying to, like, sometimes I have to go to the toilet a lot of times just to vomit. And so in all of that, there has to be like a clear reason why all of those things are happening. If not, before you know it, people are going to begin to give their own reasons for the so-called change in your behavior. So I just knew that in order to get off the hook, the easiest way was to inform everybody involved about my pregnancy. And another reason is because I tend to have big bumps, so I can't even hide it for long. I already had a bump as early as my 9th week, so it's so difficult to hide it. Yes, at that stage I could still hide it if I wanted to, but I was like, what's the essence? It's going to get bigger and everybody will eventually get to know, so what exactly am I trying to achieve? So I know this may not be a popular opinion, but for me, it was just something I needed to do in order just to make my life easier. So What do you think? Was that the same experience for you, or do you think this is the reason why you might want to tell your employers early about your pregnancy, or do you think that you will still want to hide your pregnancy? Feel free to share in the comment section.